What is up, everybody out there in YouTube land? This is Jose once again from PetRockMedia.com. We are back with another video, and today I'm going to give you the pros and cons of the EOS R5 and R6 just recently released from Canon USA. Roll that intro. Okay, everybody, thanks for stopping on by the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and punch that bell icon. I'd greatly appreciate it, and it greatly supports the channel, and I cannot say thank you to each and every one of you who have done so. All right, so a few days ago, we released a brand new video on this channel about the pros and cons of the Canon EOS R5 and R6 that were just recently announced from Canon. And I'll leave that video up here or here, depending on where we put it. But in that video, it was rather lengthy. It went into some pretty extensive detail about the pros and cons of each and why the R6 I feel is the sleeper of the camera. Until we see some test footage though, I'm going to put a little asterisk next to that claim, and why the R5 may or may not be a camera for you depending on your content. But right now we're going to run through real quickly on my top features as to why you should get the R6 over the R5 and why you might consider the R5.
Prepare ship for light speed.
No, light speed is too slow.
Light speed too slow?
Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed.
Number one, the R5 obviously shoots in 8K. Now, if you're okay with the overheating potentials of that camera and you're only gonna be shooting certain B-roll and certain shots in 8K and everything else is gonna be maybe 4K and you absolutely want that 120, then the R5 might be for you. Number two, you already are invested in CFast cards, or you already understand the incredibly high price point of CFast cards and you're willing to invest over $1,000 or roughly $1,000 for some brand new CFast cards, and you're gonna need a couple of them in order to house the footage, because again, 8K footage, 50 minutes or so will fit on 1 terabyte of card. Number three, you absolutely need that 4K 120 that the R5 can provide. If you are into shooting a ton of slow motion 4K footage, then obviously the R5 is going to be for you. And I could scarcely think of another camera that can suffice and provide you with all of those technical specs and footage output other than the Canon EOS R5. Now, we still have to wait to see what Sony announces, and there's some rumors out there. But again, right now in the flesh, what we have official from Canon, the R5 is where it's at, if those three things matter to you. Alright, everybody, so as I was recording this video and making it, I just received word of a brand new post that was posted over on Canon Japan's website, and they give some pretty juicy details about a potential firmware update that they're already considering for the R5. One of them is adding 1080p 120 frames per second to the R5 courtesy of a firmware update. So that's going to fix one of the biggest issues that a lot of us saw out there when we first saw the specs, and that is why offer 4K 120 but not 1080p 120. So if this firmware is legit, they are looking at potentially offering that for the R5. Another one is adding Canon C-Log version 3, not just version 1, to the R5 right out the gate. So that allows for a lot more dynamic range, 14 stops versus the 12 stops of original C-Log, and it allows you to film, again, with a lot more of those dynamic range stops within the footage, so that way your color grading can be a little bit more flexible. And one of the big ones that I'm looking at is the addition of potential lower bitrate codecs, which could potentially allow for us to maybe film in 8K RAW in the SD card that's offered on the R5. Now, that's not confirmed in the firmware update. However, if they're going to be offering lower codecs, two things. A, potentially we might be able to film onto those SD cards, or B, we can now use smaller CFast cards and not invest such a high amount of money in those 1 terabyte cards that can only give you 50 minutes. So those are the new updates that I saw courtesy of a post over on Canon's Japan website. I will post that down below. And now back to the rest of the video. Now, on the flip side to that, let's talk about the Canon EOS R6 and why I think that's a sleeper camera that a lot of people are not really looking into. Yes, it does have different codecs and it only provides IPB and not all-I. However, once we start seeing real-world footage from all these other content creators, you might change your mind and think maybe the R6 is right for me. It's got a cheaper price tag, it has lower investment in memory cards because it does shoot in UHS 2 SD cards. So these are some things that you need to consider when you're looking at both of these cameras. Now I'm going to run down my top 3 reasons as to why you should look at the R6. One, even though it has a smaller megapixel sensor, if the rumors from Sony are true, the smaller the sensor, the higher the readout of taking advantage of the entire full sensor, which could be better for video, which could be why they only included one particular video codec. So we just have to wait and see on that. Reason number 2, it shoots in lower cost memory. Even though there are some memory cards out there that are UHS Type 2 that can be a couple of $100s, you're still looking at almost a terabyte of storage for a couple of $100 versus about $1,000 for one CFast card. And number 3, the weight If you plan on putting this thing on a gimbal and utilizing some other lenses, then weight could be an issue, and the R6 is definitely a little bit lighter than the R5. But that wraps up my video, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick down and dirty reasons as to why you should maybe look at the R5 or why you should look at the R6 as a sleeper camera of 2020 if you're a current Canon user, or if you've already invested a lot in RF glass from Canon or have the adapter and you're going to utilize your EF glass. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Are you excited about these camera announcements? Which camera are you going to be looking to be taking advantage of this coming season? Remember, the R5 does come out at the end of this month, July. We have to wait about another month for the R6 to come out September 1st. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, punch that bell icon, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.